Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's see if this is working a little bit better. Good morning, Lisa. Nice to see you here. So let me know if you guys can hear me and see the stream. I just restarted my computer and I had a few tabs open as well, so I just closed all the extra tabs. I don't know if maybe that was running the computer too hard because I am known to have maybe 20 tabs open at once. So I just got done and it stopped, but I did rewatch the replay. Well, we didn't get much done. I just sort of started putting in some of the light areas here. Does everything sound okay and look okay? Can we get going again? All right, so again, and I apologize for that, you guys. We are back. Yes, perfect. Okay, so next time I will make sure to have everything else closed out on my laptop. I do have a gaming laptop and it's pretty good, but apparently it's not that good. So I'm just going to continue on with that 132 color here, and I'm just starting to get some light areas in. And you know what? I'm going to chance putting this over my paper, but I'll be very good that I don't move it around too much here. All looks good. Thank you, Lisa. So I just want to start getting in some lighter areas, and I am using this color as sort of like that highlight color that I see in some of the places. And my goal for today is to really finish this flower up so that we can get on to something new. So think about what you guys want to do next. Yes, hello again, EB and Corey as well. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Now, some of these petals, you don't really see a defined middle area as much, but that's okay. We can always blend this out more if it's too stark, but in a lot of my pieces, I do like to add a little bit extra contrast than what's in the piece normally. And that really helps too with some of the details and making it look a little more realistic. I don't have the scroller box anymore, Corey, and the reason I stopped getting it was because it took forever to get here, like forever. I was always getting it within the next month, and so I just kind of figured it wasn't really worth it to me to get it anymore. Yeah, you're going to cancel the scroller box? Yeah, and unfortunately it just wasn't... I liked it, but I also found, like the other two boxes that I have, the Palettefull and the Smart Art, I feel like I just get more products with those boxes, like it's a little more bang for your buck. Your palette full already shipped for the September one. The shipping is as much as the box. Yeah, when I figured out how much the shipping was to Canada, I was like, oh no. After I think I did 1, maybe 2 scroller boxes, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not paying for that. Palettefull usually ships pretty much right at the end of the month, beginning of the new month. It's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to that purple, which is the 385 from the Carbothellos. And I really like how this purple's looking, so I'm going to get some more of this in there as well. And this is going to be one of my darker tones to really help darken everything up. Hi Beth, thanks for joining. Hello colorful people. So there's still a lot of reds that we need to add in here, and I've got hopefully a nice cool red that will look good there. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna add a little bit of this in here, and we'll glaze over with our cool red, and hopefully those will mix well and give us sort of the tone that I'm looking for in this area. You blame Corey? What do I use to hold down the pastel when I'm done? Do you mean like a fixative or framing it? Because those are two different answers. If you mean a fixative, I don't typically use a fixative if I'm using Pastelmat, because whatever dust like is on the surface, that'll come off. Like you can just tap that. Oh yeah, fixative. Okay, you can just tap that off onto the garbage, like over the garbage. And then anything that's stuck, like this background, like this is stuck. So that's not going to come off. So I don't typically use a fixative if I'm using Pastelmat. Now, if I was using something like the Canson Mi-Teintes, where it's a little bit of a smoother surface and the pastel's not going to stick to it as well, I've got a video of using the Spectrafix, and I use that on my graphite piece, or not, sorry, not graphite, my charcoal pieces. And I would use that, the Spectrafix with my pastels as well. I've done that on the Canson Mi-Teintes paper. The only thing is the Spectrafix will sort of tone down your lights a little bit. So what I do is I'll go ahead and spray it, and then I'll just go over top one last time and sort of brighten up any of my lighter areas that needs to be a little bit brighter. And then that's it, and that usually stays put like that. So I'm sort of doing this streaky method because flowers have a lot of like lines and streakiness in them. So as we start to blend some of our colors together, you know, our other colors we can sort of blend down this way, and it's gonna blend together a little bit better. Now this is sort of like a muddy looking color in here, but I'm going to make it mostly the purple color. We can go over top with some of our cool red after if we need to tone it down, but I'm kind of liking the purple color for the shadow areas. Dan's piece looks good. From his stream this morning. Dan is not human. He's insanely talented. Yes, he is. I don't understand how he can get those oil paints to work magic like he does. I just finished the Smart Art piece, and it's got like water soluble oil paints, and oh my gosh, did I have a rough go at it. I was so frustrated. I almost gave up and just went, well, this isn't happening this month, but I persevered and pushed through. But my gosh, oil paints are just not for me. He treats oil like butter. Yeah. And maybe like he might be using better brands that can layer and go over top of each other better. But the brand that I was using, I can't think of it right off the bat, but it was not layering like that well. It was just kind of everything would smear together and just cause a mess. So it's not going to be the greatest piece of artwork, but I finished it. Oh, hi, Tracy Down Colors. Hello. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining. Oh, and hello, Farouk. Nice to see you here as well. It's nice to see so many people joining this morning. It's very nice. And if anybody has any questions, you know, feel free to ask. And if I miss your question, I apologize. Just ask again. Now, there's not a whole lot of purple in this one, but I do want to really create some contrast so these petals stick out. So I'm going to add just a little bit in. And this is just, you know, an artistic choice because we've got purple in all of our other petals. So why not? Now I don't want to do too much because I don't want to create too much of a shadow where there's not, because then that's going to, you know, make your piece look not like the reference photo, but, you know, we can add a little bit in here and there. Okay, so I think I'm done with that one, and I'm going to take, oh, good morning, Ash. Nice to see you here. My best subscribers. Aw, thank you so much, Farouk. So I'm going to take this 225 from the Pit Pastels, and this is sort of like a cool red color. And I'm going to basically start putting this in in some of the areas where I've put the purple and just some other areas, just to help things all blend together. Fantastic sharing. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I apologize if I miss anybody's comments because I kind of just want to work away and get this done today so that we can do something new next weekend. Now, actually, next weekend I am working. So I work Saturday and Sunday next weekend. So I'll have to move the stream to the Monday. So it'll be Monday at 10 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, same time. Just so you guys know. And I understand if a lot of you can't join at that time because it is a Monday. So I'm going to blend this up into the purple a little bit. And sort of coming down the opposite way as well. You won't be there, you're working. Oh, boo. I know. I don't work too many weekends. In my rotation, I only end up working maybe every 5th or 6th weekend, and I have taken a few off for vacation, so it's not too bad. I can't complain too much. And I think next Monday's the holiday too. So I was hoping maybe it would be nice, you know, if some people were off for the holiday and they aren't normally able to join, maybe they could join then. So I'm sort of putting this color between the yellow and the purple as well, because if we blend our yellow into the purple, that's going to create some muddiness too. So we want to be aware of that, even with pastels. You know, what colors are good to mix next to each other and what's going to create mud. Even though pastels are pretty opaque and they can go over top of each other, you still want to be conscious with that. I have the carbothellos and they don't do what she's doing. I blame the pencils. So what kind of trouble are you having with them, Beth? I'm going to bring this red in along this side too. Yes, actually, I'll be out of time. I thought you were talking about this Monday. No, not tomorrow. Next Monday. So it would be September... Oh, gosh. September 5th or something like that? 4th? No. I don't know. It's the Labor weekend holiday Monday. That's the one I'll be streaming on because I work Sunday. This makes me excited to use Pip pastels. Yes, you should use them. Absolutely. Beth says, I've never tackled anything like what you're doing. Primarily use them in CB. Coloring books? That's fine. You can use them in coloring books, no problem. But sometimes it's fun to, you know, experiment and try new things. So if you're up for the challenge, I would encourage you to try to use them, and you can follow along with this. And you might surprise yourself. And I try to break down, like with these tutorials, my main goal is to try to break them down so that when you look at a reference photo and you're thinking, oh gosh, you know, that's so complicated, where do I start? Like that's where I sort of want to break them down and show, okay, we're going to tackle this part first, and then this part, and then, you know, so on and so forth. And then that way when you know, find a reference photo that you want to do, you can go ahead and take what you've learned and apply it, hopefully. Which is why I'm here. Yes, September 6th. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that's the Monday that I'll be streaming. And then after that weekend, it will go back to Sundays, and I will let you know again when I'm working. I think I work the long weekend in October as well, so that one will be Monday too, but I'll double check. I'm learning a lot because of the art box from Artful has pastels. Oh, nice. Thanksgiving weekend? Yes, I work that one, I believe. But I only work until 4 o'clock, so Thanksgiving supper is on after that. I'm going to add a little bit of this cool red in here too. And I'm going to start bringing this color down into the purple here and start mixing them, and hopefully they're going to give me sort of like a magenta-y dark purple color. No turkey for me. Hey, I can still eat after work. I'll be working all day, so I'll be starving. So I'm just lightly, I'm not pushing very hard. I'm just lightly going over top of these colors to sort of let them blend together on their own. And then we'll go over one last time and sort of blend things out as well. So glad I work for a school and having the holidays off and all. Oh, nice. So you will be there. Is that what you're saying, Evie? You will be there, not this Monday, but the following Monday. Okay. Are you going to want turkey after serving it all day? That's true. That's a good point. What do I do with the buildup of chalk dust? That's a good question. So what I'll do is, because I've just put this on, this is just some cardstock underneath, and I just taped the back of the Pastelmat, I can just put it over top the trash and tap it off to get rid of that pastel dust. But I'm trying to be as gentle as I can right now to not create as much, hopefully. But the pastel pencils do create a lot more dust than the pan pastels. Pan pastels really don't create much dust at all because you're like smushing them down into the paper, especially when you use my technique where I'm using the sponges. It's sort of just pushing that pastel right down into this Pastelmat. Oh, you'll be heading out of town, that's right, okay. That's all right. No worries. There's always room for turkey, naps, and desserts. Yeah. Yes, always. Okay, I'm going to bring this color down here a little bit. And I'm just looking at the shapes, you know, the shapes of the colors. I'm not really paying too much attention to the detail, because once you get some of those shapes in, it sort of starts creating that detail for you. And then you can just go along based on that. Now I think I might add in some of this purple down in this area, because this is a very dark area. And since we've been using our purple for a lot of our dark areas, it's gonna make it a little cohesive. And I'm just very lightly. And I'm just looking at the way some of these lines curve. They don't have to be perfect. I just want the general you know, feel in. But this is one of the darker areas down here as well. And then I'm going to switch back to that cool red that we were using, the 225. And I'm just going to start blending these colors together. Yes, I'm a big fan of sweater weather. That's a tongue twister. Say that 5 times fast. Sweater weather. Well, at least we are ready for Inktober once we get our stuff. Did you get your email yet saying sent for my items? No. So I ended up, I was kind of, you know, concerned that I haven't got the email yet. So I ended up going back on their site just to look to see, you know, what their shipping policy is and all that. And when I went back on, the package that I got, it said that it doesn't ship to Canada. It ships within the US only. But I ordered it and I paid for it. And I clearly have like a Canadian address. So I sent them an email just saying like, am I gonna get this shipment? Like what's going on? And they're closed until Monday. Like they don't answer their emails and stuff until Monday. So I guess I'll find out what's going on then. I'm not really sure, but I was kind of like, that's weird. And it never said that before when I had first ordered it. It never said anything about only shipping to the US. And I think now a lot of the products there says it only ships to the US, the UK, and the EU. So I'm kind of like, well, that's weird. So I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out next week what's going on. Just going up and bringing this red up just a little bit more. So I mean, I'll kind of be sad if it doesn't ship to me, because I was really excited to get that, but it's just weird that all of a sudden it says it's not shipping, like it only ships to the US now. But yet I clearly had a Canadian shipping address and they let me purchase the product and pay for it, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. She is the best, isn't she? Just going to get this edge here. All right. I'm going to go back in with this orange, which is the 113, and I'm just going to sort of put this in between the yellow and where that red was, in some of these areas. And if I need to just bump up the color sort of underneath the petal where it curves over a little bit, I can do that too. Here to help when I can, no problem. I'm going to get a little bit of this orangey color sort of under here too, just where you can see a hint of the petals curling up. A little hint down here just to warm up this area a little. And up here a little bit. I know Art Snacks is doing their own box where you can pick what you want. Yeah, that's kind of a neat feature because you know exactly what's going to come in your box this year. What will I do after this project? That's a great question. So I've had a couple of requests to do some watercolor. Yeah, I've had some requests to do some watercolors. So I figured I would leave it up to you guys. Do you want to do, like, what subject? Let me know in the chat here, or if you're watching the replay, let me know down in the comments below. But what subject would you like in watercolors for the next one? So we could do, I'm just going to grab that yellow that I was using before, the 210, and just fill in some of these areas. And then we're going to go ahead and blend and then just add some lighter parts and finish up this. Yeah, so watercolor. So we could do either like a very simple seascape, like break that down where we do a sky, a little sea and maybe some sand or something. Or we could do, I love doing like a sky, sort of like a night galaxy sky, and then like you could have a silhouette scene over top of it. Those are really fun and easy to do. Or whatever, you know, subject that you guys are feeling. So let me know, throw some ideas out there, and I will certainly take those into consideration. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this 305 from the Carbothellos, and this is sort of like my warm red, and I'm just going to get a little bit more of that in this area, and then we are ready to blend. Seascape or galaxy sounds fun. I was thinking that too. Okay. I like those suggestions because I love doing like galaxy night skies with like a silhouette over them. It is so fun and so easy to do, and it's easy to sort of take it and create your own version of it, because you can really just put, you know, any color that you want in place of whatever colors that I choose to use. So they're really fun to do that way. I struggle with backgrounds, lights, and shadow, just to be real. Okay. Like lights, okay, as in like getting your lights light enough and your darks dark enough. And sometimes that comes down to just time and patience. Sometimes that comes down to, you know, depending what medium you work in. If you lay down too much color at the beginning and you fill the tooth of the paper, like especially with colored pencils, then that's really hard to be able to go back over top and fix that, right? So I guess it depends what medium that you're sort of working into. Now with backgrounds, do you mean like a scene, or do you mean like sky backgrounds? Galaxy sounds beautiful. Perfect. I have a nice one in mind. If you guys remind me at the end of the stream, I can pull out, I've done a speed painting one on my channel, and it's got like a nice green and blue background, and then I did an elk on top of it. So if you guys are curious, I can pull that out after and show you at the end. but we could do something similar to that. And it's got some grass and stuff in the foreground as well. But it's fun, and it's, you know, easy to sort of play around with different colors. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of these Sofft tools now, and I'm just going to start blending. And then I've got a paper towel here where if I feel like I'm picking up too much color, I can always just dab it off. It's seeing the whole elephant, knowing where to take my first bite. Yeah, that can be intimidating. And you know what I'm going to do before I blend? I'm just going to take this and tap it off in the garbage because I do see a little bit of the pastel dust on there. So I just tap the back of it and it just gets rid of it in the garbage. And now let me make sure this is all lined up again. There we go. And that's why I prefer, you know, something like this. I will tape the back of it down onto a sheet rather than taping the border, unless it's on something that I can move around and do that with, because I just find it a lot easier to be able to tap it off. And then, so I'm going to start blending with our lightest color. I'm just going to move that back on there so it doesn't move too much. And again, if I feel like I'm picking up some of those darks, I just wipe that off. Nice desktop. Oh, thank you. This is actually not my desktop. My desk is a white desk. And I got this, it's sort of like just a cover. Oh, I forget what it's called, but I got it on Amazon. And it's just like, it's a waterproof, whatever, desk cover kind of thing. And I just thought the pattern of it was so pretty. So I got that to go over top. And then that way I don't risk messing up my white desk. So I'm just starting to blend into some of those warm colors now. And I don't want to move things around too much. So I'm just going, you know, just barely. I just want to smudge it out enough and sort of push the pastel into the tooth of the Pastelmat. Now you could do this with your finger as well. That's fine. I just have these Sofft tools, so I tend to use these. Okay, and now I'm going to start blending our other areas. Now, I can take a different tool and go in and do the highlight areas if I need to, but I think I might add a few more little highlights here and there. Oh no, your stream froze again. Is it very eye-pleasing? Is it better now, or is it still froze? Oh no. It looks fine on my end. Is anybody else having that trouble with the stream freezing? Same, mine did as well. Is it back now? I don't know why I'm having such trouble with the stream today. I do apologize. Yes, it's back now. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to have to find out. I mean, we have really good internet here, so I'm not really sure what's causing the stream to go out like that. I'll have to see what my husband's doing. Maybe he's down there doing, usually he's just watching TV though. But I'll see if maybe he's doing something that might be causing the stream to kind of go out. Oh, it's probably Not me. Nope, not yours, EB. Yours was okay. Mine did too, but it came back quickly. Okay. Good. Yeah, I'm not really sure what would be causing that, but oh. So just lightly blending everything still. And if you guys are enjoying this, then please be sure to give it a like and make sure you're subscribed so that you get notifications when I'm streaming. And sometimes it doesn't notify you right away, so you might have to hit the little like notification bell and make sure that you have all notifications on. Loving the flower. Thank you. I hope it's popping as much for you guys as it is for me. Sometimes, you know, when you're doing stuff over video, it doesn't look as vibrant or as, you know, nice. And I'm rediscovering in this project my love for pastels. I haven't used these pastels in probably over a year, I want to say, including my pastel pans and my pastel pencils. So I think we'll be doing more pastel pieces in the future for sure, because I've forgotten just how much I really enjoy using these and just how fun they are. No, Pastelmat doesn't chew up. Well, I mean, if you press hard enough, Corey, it would. But if you're just going over lightly, like I don't know if you can see, there's little holes and divots in this, but a lot of that's just from, I don't know if that's going to focus. No, it's not. I mean, over time, it will get used up because you're rubbing the sponge, you know, on top of stuff. But I find it doesn't, like I get a few good uses out of them. And then what I do is I go ahead and wash them. Like this one is one of the ones we did the background with. And I use the pink soap to wash them in the sink. And I just rinse them out. And you'll see there's still a little bit of green there. But if I go on this, like none of it shows up. It will stain the sponge, but the color will come out once you wash it. So I get a lot of use out of these sponges, really. Okay, so now I'm just going to come back through with that light pencil, which is the 132, and I'm just going to make sure any areas that I really want to pop are as light. Oh, I guess I should have my volume down on that. Are going to pop the way I want them to, so I'm just going to come in and get a little bit of like lighter detail in here, just a little bit in a couple of places. Just along some of these edges here. This is going to start helping to separate the petals as well. Okay, I just know the soft ones are so delicate, but that's good to know. Yeah, as long as you're gentle, and really if you've got enough pastel down on the paper to blend out, you don't really need to blend them very hard. They sort of just blend themselves, really, once you get a couple layers down. I'm just going to let these lightly transition into here. So I'm just barely glazing here. I just want to like go at forever, where you're just making little adjustments. And you know, it's just one of those stages where you could just keep going and get it to where you really want your piece to look. I'm just going to lightly blend that. I'm just going to get this little edge here. I'm sort of feathering this part out here so it doesn't stand out so much. And then along this edge here where the petal kind of folds up. You think you want to do something with pastels, EB? Yeah, you should. They're so fun. Now, if I was doing this with colored pencils, you know, we could get a little bit more detail in here in some areas probably. But I like sort of like a painterly feel with the pastel pencils as well. But you can keep going and keep adding really as much detail as you want with the pastel pencils. That's one nice thing, is they almost layer indefinitely. And I'm really just looking at my reference photo, trying to figure out where those lights and darks are. It looks fuzzy now. Is it any better now? I'm really not sure what's going on. I do apologize, you guys. Yes, it's cleared up. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to try to figure out what's going on, because usually this is a good time, because not many people are like streaming stuff around here, and like our internet is relatively good, so. So I'm just getting some texture in there. edge too. Okay, so I'm going to take one of those clean soft tools, and I'm just going to lightly just blend along some of these. Just the ones that I really want to tone down, where you don't see them as obvious, but artistically I like the look of it being there. Okay. Because not all these are as prominent as like this one. Okay, so like I normally say, I could keep fussing with this, but we are going to move on and do these little stamens. And I'm just going to grab my craft knife here. So this is how I find it easiest to get this masking film off. I just use the corner of my craft knife and slide it under, and then it just peels off, and it leaves some nice crisp edges and lines, except I messed up here and here when I did it. So I'm just going to take my kneaded eraser real quick. Not my good one, I'm going to use my other one. And I'm just going to make a little point and just pick up a little bit of this pastel in here. Now it doesn't matter if there's a little bit, because the colors will go over top, because that's pretty dark. In there it's got some browns and some darks. But I just want to grab just a little bit, just along that edge there. And then once you knead your eraser, it kind of just incorporates it and sort of like goes away. And I'm going to start by laying down some of this yellow down here in the bottom. And then we'll start putting some of that orange in. And this won't take us long to do, pretty much one layer of this, because it's such a small area, and it will be done. And the fun thing with this, you know, you guys could keep going. If you want to keep adding details, you can. Like, that's the fun part with your projects, if you're following along. Or maybe you're just watching to get some tips. And it's Frisket. I use the Frisket one, and I do have a video on my channel showing exactly how I masked this out with it. So I did that a couple of weeks right before I started this live stream tutorial series. So you can, if you're curious, you can go back and see exactly how I did it. Now I'm just getting a base layer of this yellow in this one, because it's pretty much just yellows and oranges, really. Oh, you have Frisket. Yeah. So it's kind of like paper, except it's tacky. And I just put it on, and then I sort of cut around my subject that way, and then peel like the back parts off. And I'm going to start getting some of this yellow up in these little areas too, because there is some yellow in here, like little pollen spots or whatever. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that in. Now this one's got quite a bit of yellow in here. It's going to be a little bit darker, though, because there's still some of that purple on there, but that's all right. Found my soft pastels and paper ready to go. Nice. So that's what you're going to do on your stream today, Evie? What subject are you going to do? And this is another nice thing with pastels. I'm not being super accurate with this yellow. I'm just sort of getting it in the general area. And I am trying to work a little bit quickly because I do want to get this done today so that we can do our watercolor piece next time, which is going to be really fun. And I'm just glazing this color up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to grab that orange color, which is the Pit 113, and I'm going to start working this color into some of these areas here. So some of these overlap other ones, so they're a little darker, so you got to really pay attention and sort of figure out which one goes on top of which one. This one comes behind, this one comes down and is in front. Not sure you're going to figure something out. Well, you've got time. You've got time to figure something out. Now this one comes in here. Okay, I think this is still part of this. Where does this one come from? This is still part of this. It's a big boy. Okay, back to that orange. And I'm just laying just a hint of it in here. And getting this one too. You'll have to look on Pinterest for ideas, yeah. This one doesn't have as much on it, just a little bit, so I'm just gonna glaze just very lightly over it and let the color blend out. It sort of stops not all the way to the top. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this warmer one, which is the 305 from the Carbothellos. Maybe something fall. Yes, I'd love to do a fall piece coming up. I was thinking maybe some nice fall pumpkins or something. I don't know. We'll have to see, but I've had requests to do the watercolor one next, and then some watercolor pencils. So we'll do a piece with the watercolor pencils. And that could be fall or not fall. And then maybe we'll go back and do another pastel piece here, and we'll do like a nice fall one. So I find it's a little quicker if you're doing pastels to do like a whole piece like this. So maybe we could do like a nice fall picture. Let me know what you guys think, what you're feeling. So that's sort of warm orangey red that we've got down there. And that's going to help us transition into our cooler red, which is the 225. Now, one thing you'll notice between, because they're a harder pastel. So I'm going to bring this color almost up to the top, not quite reaching our yellows. Take a picture of my turkey when it's done and recreate it. Maybe, but then that's sort of like, it's kind of past then, you know. I'm going to bring this color down into that orange. So the whole point is we're overlapping our colors, right? So everything's going to blend out, hopefully nice and seamless. Now I can go afterwards and really work on getting up to the edges of this. You just got to take your time. But like I said, for the stream, I'm going a little bit quick. But I can go back in afterwards and really, you know, make that, the lines a little bit better. So I'm going to take this purple one, the 385, and I'm just going to start creating a little bit of like space in between some of these, because we're losing a little bit of our lines, and there is a little bit of a dark gap in between some of these. So I'm just ever so lightly going to get that in a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to go back with that warm orangey red and put that in above. So we've got sort of warms, a little cool area, and then some more warms before we hit the tops of these stamens. The video paused again. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I hope, hopefully the replay is better. I do apologize. I'm gonna have to figure out, you know, what's going on there. Just gonna go back with that cool red and just sort of bring it down and up a little bit more, just where I see it. Maybe bring it down just a smidgen here under these areas. There's a little bit more of a shadow. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll get a clean piece here. So this one's nice and clean. And we're going to start blending these out. You can see sort of blending that orange and the yellow together is sort of giving us that color that we want. And I'm probably just going to have to go over this bottom part a little bit just to make sure it blends together nicely. And I'm just blending. I don't think it's you, Naomi. I think it's YouTube. Okay. I hope so, because I do apologize. Because it is weird that, you know, I haven't had this trouble before now, so we'll blame it on YouTube. Way to go, YouTube. Way to ruin our fun. Maybe I shouldn't say that, or it's going to keep happening. Okay. And I'm going to go in now with the brown that I've got. So this is sort of a dark brown 280 and the black 199 from the Pit Pastels. And I'm going to start putting in some of these little dark areas up here. So I'm just going to start with the brown because it's pretty dark, but I hate going in with just black into a lot of areas. So I usually will do like another color along with it. And I'm just sort of doing like little scribbly motions. Little scribbles to sort of get like that texture in there. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Not every flower's the exact same. This one's pretty dark towards the middle of it. And same with this one. So if you guys have any last questions or anything for me regarding this project or anything else, feel free to ask them now as we're almost done here. I might just go in and sort of clean up this area real quick, but we're getting pretty close to being done with this. Finally. And let me know if you guys enjoy these longer projects that do go on for, you know, 2, 3, or maybe more sessions, because then we could do like a little more in-depth stuff as well. I just, you know, I never want to drag it out for too long if people don't enjoy that. So I'm going to go in with the black now and just hit a few of the spots that I notice are a little bit darker, just to add some contrast in there. It's lovely, looks beautiful. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. I enjoyed seeing it done over time. Helps those who are creating along. Yeah. Yeah, so as long as you guys don't mind like projects that go into a few tutorials, then we can certainly keep doing them because they are fun to do. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with that yellow down here at the bottom. Again, just starting to blend everything together. Going to go over top of this one as well. I'm going to take a little bit of that orange in here, and I'm going to put this in where it's a little bit darker, and then I'll use the yellow to sort of blend over it and tone it down. And I'm going to bring this yellow down in just a few spots to help create sort of where you see some of these stamen coming down and sort of connecting. I agree, overtime is great. Okay, perfect. Well, that is what we'll do then. We'll do some shorter projects, like the watercolor one that we're going to do. That'll probably be one, like that should be one that we can get done within an hour and a half, you know. If we have to go up to 2 hours, that's fine. Okay, and I'm going to go back with that yellow and just blend and smooth. And again, I'm just pressing very lightly. I'm letting sort of the weight of the pencil blend. And then I'm going to go back in with this orangey color just to start filling in some more of this tooth of the paper here. And I'm going to grab that cool and just sort of pop this in, and then we'll blend this all out one last time. And I'm just going to do that same thing and just lightly use the pencils to blend themselves out. Okay, and I might just go back in with this light one that we used on the flower here, the 132, just to catch a couple of these edges. Just to help them stand out a little bit. And then you could always go in to the background back here and darken that up if you need to. And I might even go back in with that purple and just define a little bit in between them a little bit better. So just ever so slightly. I'm going to switch to that warmer red just to bring that color down a little bit further in here. And as you can see, this is the stage that I can get lost in and just keep going. This is one of my favorite stages of the piece. But I think I'm going to blend just this bottom part here, and we're going to call it done. So again, I'm always blending up and away. Whoop. I'm going to wipe that off real good and just go in with the edge and sort of sweep that back. And then just fix that with the yellow. Goodbye, mistake. See, super easy to fix mistakes with pastel pencils, but there. I'm going to call it done. Just keep going, just keep going. I could really just keep going with this. And that's what sort of brings out the realism in your projects, is the more time that you put into it, the more detail that you can create, you know, those lights and darks, creating that depth. That's going to make the piece look even better than what it does. And sometimes it's good though to just say, okay, I'm done for now, because I'm just nitpicking on little things. So sometimes you have to step back and, you know, let it go for a couple of hours or even a couple of days, and then come back and see if there's anything that you really want to change, because you might come back and love it just the way it is, or you might come back and say, okay, I don't like how this little section looks, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that. So I think I'm at that point right now. I am going to call this done. So if there's no other questions or anything for me, then I am going to go ahead and end this stream. I'm just going to grab a quick drink. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you so much, Beth. Wendy Schultz, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Stunning. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you for everyone that joined me today. So remember, next weekend I'm working Sunday, so it will be, I think we decided September 6th, which is the Monday at 10 a.m. Atlantic time. And we'll be doing a watercolor piece. Oh, do you guys want me to grab that one that I had done before real quick and just show you so you have an idea of what we're doing? If you guys just want to bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so I had done this as a time-lapse video on my channel. Can you see that? So I figure we'll do sort of one in this style, but maybe we can do a different animal on top. So maybe like a wolf or something. I'm feeling like a wolf and maybe like a pinkish purple background, but that could be because I just used pinks and purples. So maybe if you guys want to leave comments down in the comment section of what colors we should use. But again, everybody can do whatever colors they want. But I figure we'll do something like this, and then you can work on a silhouette and work on some grass. And that should take us, you know, probably about an hour and a half or so. And I will have to dry in between, you know, layers and stuff. But yeah, I think that would be really fun for watercolors. So thank you guys so much for joining today. Come back, not this Monday, but the next Monday, September 6th, and we'll do that. And I should have the stream up like somewhere between the week. I'll have it up ready to go. So I will do like a sketch for you guys of whatever animal I choose. But you can always pick a different animal if you want. But I'll have that and a reference photo if I find a good one for you guys, okay? Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.